Hey guys, in this video I'm talking about surprising benefits that I had from my GLP-1 weight loss. Now, these are benefits besides just appetite suppression and weight loss. I did have both of those, of course, but these are all things different. These are things that I wasn't necessarily expecting to happen, but was pleasantly surprised by. My short story is I did 6 months on compound Tirzepatide. In 4 months, I lost 30 pounds. Then I switched to a weaning dose for 2 more months, lost about 4 more pounds, and then I've been off it about 3 months now. I think the fact that I've been off it about 3 months gives me an interesting perspective because some of these benefits hung around and then some of these benefits totally went away off the medicine. All right, let's jump on in. The first big thing I noticed, like the first week I was on the medicine, days like 4 or 5 after taking my first ever shot, was a reduction in puffiness of my face. Now, you look at your face every day in the mirror. I knew that I had gained some weight recently and my face didn't look like it did, when I was at my fighting weights, but I was, used to what I was looking at in the mirror. And so days 4 or 5 after taking my first shot, I got out of bed one day and I remember just staring at my face like, whoa, my face looked noticeably less puffy, more lean. And now that quickly, I hadn't lost significant weight or anything, but I think the reduction in inflammation and water weight and puffiness just gave me a visible difference, even just that first week. And then from then on, my face looked noticeably less puffy, less inflamed. Honestly, it looked healthier. I am someone that struggles with PCOS and water retention. And so I think that just the almost immediate reduction in those, it gave me a visible difference in my face. And then that continued. My face does look noticeably different than it did, before I started the medicine. Some of that is definitely weight loss, but also because there was such a difference in that first week, some of that was definitely inflation. Next, less aches and pains. At that time, I was really having a lot of lower back pain, and I've kind of struggled with lower back pain on and off throughout my adult life. I'm someone who just has to be super careful in the gym with weightlifting. With weightlifting, now I mainly use the machines because those kind of keep your posture perfect. But I'm someone who easily hurts my lower back and just my lower back gets achy easily. And when I was on this medicine, I had a lot less of that. And I think, again, that reduction in inflation just really helped that. I think I had some inflamed muscles and tissue, and that was leading to some of this back pain. And now I will say, being off the medicine 3 months, I still am having a lot less back pain than I used to. Now, once I was on the medicine during the 6 months of therapy, I really got in shape. So I was doing Pilates once or twice a week. And then when I would do weights at least once a week, I would do the machines. So really careful not to hurt myself. So all of those things helped. But in general, I'm in less pain now. And I was in less pain on the medicine, and now off the medicine, I'm also in less pain. On the medicine, I had sleep apnea improvement. Now, I didn't know I had sleep apnea. I did have a few roommates in college be like, hey, you stop breathing in your sleep. So I had kind of an idea I might have it, but I've really struggled with chronic fatigue since maybe high school. And I do have a little bit of a heart issue, so I always thought that was kind of what was going on. But when I was on this medicine, I did wake up much more refreshed. I did sometimes have, especially days 2 through 4 after my shot, have extra fatigue throughout the day. But I did, in general, notice waking up more refreshed when I was on this medicine. And so GLP-1s can help with sleep apnea and can treat sleep apnea. And so when I got off the medicine, I had been off the medicine, a month or 2, I was like, hey, I am waking up still super tired. And that's after getting 8 or 9 hours of sleep. So I was like, I wonder if I have sleep apnea, because I knew GLP-1s treat sleep apnea. My primary care doctor was able to call in a home sleep test. I went to my local hospital. They gave me this home sleep test. You put something on your chest and your finger and your wrist, and you download an app, and then it sends in all the information. And I was diagnosed with mild to moderate sleep apnea. So for me, treatment is just a night guard. I was able to get my night guard made from my dentist, and my dental insurance actually did cover a portion of it, which is very nice. So definitely check your dental benefits. And a night guard can just kind of adjust your jaw so that your breathing pathways are open and you're less likely to stop breathing in your sleep or just to sleep better. I have really big tonsils, and so big tonsils can cause sleep apnea. And so that night guard can just kind of like open everything up. So I'm not like waking myself up by stopping breathing like a million times a night. So I get more restful sleep. And I still do struggle with chronic fatigue, but I will say I wake up more refreshed and it is less bothersome with the night guard. And I don't think I would have found out I had sleep apnea if I hadn't have done a GLP-1 therapy. So that was very helpful to find out. I had clearer skin on my GLP-1 and I kind of have clearer skin now. So before I did my GLP-1 weight loss therapy, I had a ton of just like cystic acne, mainly through here. And right here is kind of like where you know it's hormonal. It was so uncomfortable and painful. And I felt really embarrassed about it. I know I shouldn't, but I felt embarrassed about it. I was having like all these hormonal imbalances, and being on a GLP-1 reduces inflammation, so it can directly treat acne. It can help with PCOS and regulate your hormones, which I was definitely having hormonal acne. Being on the GLP-1 totally helped me clean up my diet. I wasn't craving the bad foods anymore. And so I was eating much cleaner, which also I think cleared up my skin. Now, I would occasionally get a zit here and there, and that would just happen. And now that I've been off of it, my skin has been a lot better than it was before I started my GLP-1 therapy still. And I think a lot of that is because of the hormonal healing that had happened, and because my diet has been so cleaned up. On my GLP-1, I craved coffee so much less. Now, I was one that probably would have 2 or 3 cups a day, which, you know, isn't like a big problem or anything, but I think less of a reliant on caffeine is always good. And when I was on my GLP-1, I was good with 1 cup a day. Now, I would sometimes have fatigue throughout the day, so I'd be like, maybe I could have a second cup like in the afternoon, but then I'd take 2 sips and I'd be like, meh. So really just my morning cup of coffee is like all I wanted coffee-wise. And I know coffee has some health benefits, and 2 or 3 cups a day is not a big thing. But I also think less of a reliance on caffeine is a wonderful thing. Now, since being off the medicine, I am back up to 2 cups a day, very rarely 3 cups a day. So that's kind of come back. But on my GLP-1 weight loss journey, I did switch to black coffee. I did that to kind of elongate my intermittent fasting, because if you have creamer, usually that breaks an intermittent fast. And intermittent fasting was one of the lifestyle changes I made that I was going to continue off the medicine. And so that's kind of why I changed to black coffee. And then also with all the nutrition education, I wanted to stay away from sugar as much as possible. And usually any creamers have a bunch of sugar in them. So I switched to black coffee, and I have continued with black coffee off the medicine. But off the medicine, I am back up on coffee. Very rarely 3. Well, 3 was a little more regular probably before my therapy. In that same wheelhouse, I had much less desire for alcohol. Now, I was never like a big drinker or anything, but I would have usually just like a glass of wine twice a week, maybe 3 times. And then when I was on my GLP-1, very, very rarely I would have a glass of wine, like if I went out to a nice dinner or like a wedding or something. But besides that, I was like, I don't need it. I don't want it. Which, you know, having a glass of wine 2 days a week or 3 days a week, that's not a big deal. But, you know, alcohol has a lot of sugar usually. It has additional calories. And I prefer to not drink my calories. I'd rather eat my calories. And I would say that's a habit that I have pretty much continued off the medicine. I've just like been like, oh, I don't need it. I feel like it's a habit I kind of broke. I got used to just only drinking water at the end of the night or water with dinner. It was just kind of like a treat. I would want a glass of wine at the end of the night. And now I'm like, I don't need it, even though I've been off the medicine 3 months. So that's kind of like a good thing, I would say. In addition to that, it totally broke my cravings. So before my GLP-1 weight loss therapy, I was coming off of 2 really difficult pregnancies, 2 extended breastfeeding journeys. And during those childbearing years, I feel like I was in like total survival mode, and I would just kind of like eat kind of what I wanted when I wanted, if I could. Like I would just like, I'd be like, oh shoot, the baby's sleeping, I can eat something now. And I just kind of like eat whatever I was craving. And during my pregnancies, I craved a lot of like carbs and cheese, like mac and cheese and pizza and like that kind of food. And then that's kind of what I ate again while breastfeeding. And then once I was done breastfeeding my second baby, I was still kind of eating like that and I was craving it like crazy. And I would try to clean up my diet and I would just be like overwhelmed by the cravings. And so I got on the GLP-1, all the cravings totally went away. I got into some new habits and everything. And then off the GLP-1, I'm definitely hungrier, but I'm not craving that bad stuff. Not bad. I'm not craving that less nutritional food like I was before. I'm able to make healthier choices again because for 6 months while I was on my GLP-1, I made such healthier choices that now my body really wants that. My body really wants to eat high protein, really wants lots of veggies and everything. My body would not feel happy with me just eating a bowl of mac and cheese and like that being a meal. You know, like I might have a little mac and cheese now, but I'd also want like a chicken breast and some broccoli with it. Like I'm used to eating more whole nutritious meals now. All right, that is it for my video. If you had any surprising benefits, I would love to hear about them in the comment section. Also in the comment section, feel free to tell me where you're at with your GLP-1 journey. The telehealth I used for my GLP-1 weight loss was JoinFridays. They can prescribe name brand and compound medications. My discount code with JoinFridays is Madison. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in my next video.